What the hell is going on with these athletes nowadays? I tell you, I can't understand them. And we'll speak about it here on the TakeInVegas.com Winners Talk podcast. I am Chris Hodge, joined as always by world-class insider Richie Tulo. We got some sports wagering to speak about here. We got some big games lined up for the weekend. And good to be with everyone for Wednesday. Guys, I guess I'm growing up in a different time. Before I get to the winners we're going to release, everyone's excited about the NFL game tomorrow between Tampa Bay and Dallas, and we'll speak about that tomorrow on the podcast. But I tell you, this girl, I know this story's a little old, but we haven't done the podcast. We had the holidays, obviously, and, big things going on. But every time this girl, Naomi Osaka, loses in tennis, she gets up in front of the media and cries. Like, it's like the media's fault that you're not performing. If you need a break, take a break. She's one of the most gifted players of all time. But at the end of the day, why are you crying? I don't get it. Can you imagine, Richie, we give out a game, the game loses, and then our customers hear us crying? Oh, I can't believe we lost. Oh, this, that, and oh, you guys are breaking our balls. What is going on with today's athlete? It's truly amazing.
There's no crying in tennis. Oh, no, that's baseball.
That's one of the greatest lines in any movie ever.
There's no crying in tennis. Come on, guys. You lost. Get off the stage.
It's amazing that they just...
Girl up. Can we say girl up?
We might have to be careful with that one. But at the end of the day, right? If you got to your point as a professional athlete, and she is clearly talented, you have to have mental toughness. But now it's like in this country, we're celebrating the mentally weak. Like, oh, the girl who quit in the Olympics. I don't even remember her name because I remember if she won, but she didn't win, so I don't even remember her name. And she's one of the greatest Olympians of all time, but she quit.
Simone Biles?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, she quit. Can you imagine if an NFL player before the Super Bowl just decided to say, I'm not playing, man? Like Tom Brady before the game. Nah, I need a mental break. Can you imagine what would happen to him?
You want to know something? Their salaries are so ludicrous that maybe they can.
Bro, at some time, it's pride that comes in. And look, like I said, we're in a business, you and I, Richie.
But remember one thing, though. We're talking about a team sport as opposed to an individual sport.
They still got to be mentally tough. Okay. And don't blame the media. Right? Listen, I get it. The media does a lot of stupid shit, right? We know that about the media. We get it. But if you lose, the media had nothing to do with it. It's the person that was in front of you beat you on that day. No shame in it. It happens. Some of the greatest... Muhammad Ali lost fights. Okay? He didn't blame anyone. He just got up and said, he's one of the most beloved athletes of all time. Hey, the guy beat me. Now it's up to me to come back and beat him. That's how it's done.
Well, you got to... Then you know what? You got to commend Sandy Alderson for what he told Baez. And who was it? Pilar?
No, Pilar was involved in that thumbs down thing, but Lindor.
And Lindor, you had the balls to say, hey, guys, they're paying your salaries. They're entitled to boo. They're allowed to say whatever they want.
You're a child. So you're going to boo the fans? Okay, you guys are out of your minds. Like, just how about this? How about do your job? See, like, Richie, you and I, this is what I was going to get to just a couple seconds ago. You and I are in a very pressure-packed business. Because we gamble for a living.
Undoubtedly.
And when we lose a game, because it happens, we just don't lose our money. All of our clients that were partners in the game lost their money as well. So you want to deal with some pressure? How about losing a game? How about all the emails and death threats and text messages and bullshit that we deal with after a game loses? Because they don't text you when you win.
Well, I've cried before. Not in front of people. But listen.
Not to the media.
Hey, losing is part of winning.
Agreed.
It's what builds winners. And the unfortunate thing is, listen, some people can't take losing. Some people can't take rejection. Well, all I can say is, guys, girls, it's part of life. I think the worst thing that ever happened to sports in general is third, fourth, and fifth place trophies. I think we're in agreement there.
Third place is bronze. I can give you third place.
Fourth and fifth?
Ninth?
Come on.
Who comes up with... if my kid brought home a ninth place trophy, I'd throw it in the fireplace. Like, what the hell is this?
Everybody wins.
Yeah, no, everyone don't. When you lost, you finished in ninth. That means there are 8 people better than you. You lost. Grow up. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, let's get to some action. Now, again, it's Wednesday. There's baseball going on. I have another free pick in just a couple moments. If you want to follow us on Instagram, just follow us at Taking Vegas, and you can DM us the word free. You'll get free picks each and every day. You can also visit takingvegas.com. More free picks there. And you can give us a call at 888-WIN-8020. That's 1-888-WIN-8020. We got free picks each and every day. But Richie Tulo, your service there at syndicatedplayersclub.com. That's syndicatedplayersclub.com. You did it again, man. 41-11-2 record in 2021. And in week 1, easy winner under 59, UTEP, New Mexico State. Week 2 last week, easy winner under 54, BYU and Arizona. I mean, it doesn't get – you're giving out unders. There's really no such thing as an easy under.
You want to know something? I'm looking at something for this upcoming weekend, and I'd be lying right now if I said if it's a done deal, but it looks like it's going to materialize. And if it doesn't, next week is okay too. But this looks pretty good. I would say I'm about 80% in, but I gotta be more than 100% in to make sure that I do this the right way. So, folks, I tell people all the time that we just can't bet just for the sake of betting, okay? Because it's not the right mentality and it's not the right game plan as far as success goes. I mean, you know, I was taught when I first got into the betting world many years ago that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at seem to change. So, you know, when people don't look, if you're not willing to change, I mean, what do we say all the time, Chris? If you're not willing to change your betting patterns and your philosophy towards betting, then in reality, you're really not ready to win. I think we're in agreement there, no?
Yeah, it goes to the way you guys look at things, you know, and that's why I brought up these athletes crying, man. If you're going to be that mentally weak, like if one game is going to kill you, you know, it's probably not the right business for you.
Listen. When we lose a game, and listen, we're not perfect, but what are we going to do? We can't worry about yesterday. Tomorrow's our next deal.
Also, we get into this business understanding you can't win them all. There's very few people in the world that gone undefeated. I don't know, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, there's not many others, right, that have been undefeated throughout life. You take losses every now and again.
Not in this field. There are no undefeated.
There are no, unless they're lying. We're 30-0. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But get involved right now. 888-WIN-8020. That's 888-WIN-8020. We got some free picks going for you. And, you know, Richie, when it comes to sports wagering, so many people don't look at it as a business. And they're making a big mistake when they don't look at it as a business.
It is the only way to look at it.
And what drives me crazy is I get a lot of phone calls and, you know, there's two things that we hear, right? And one of them is, I'm not a big player. Okay, great. How many games did you bet tonight? I bet 12 games. Oh, really? How much did you put on each one? Well, I only bet 200 on each one. Oh, okay. So you're risking 2,400 plus the juice on a Saturday, college football action, and you don't think you're a big player. Well, you know, if I go, I bet 12 of those games, I'm really hoping to go 9-3. Oh, really? That's nice. You're hoping to win 75%. Because if you go out of those 12 games, if you go 7-5, you still didn't make money. You risked about 2,400 plus the juice to not win that much money. And people just don't understand how great this industry could be if they just looked at it a little bit different. And that's what we're here to help them with.
Listen, you can look at it the way that we look at it. Our prism is a lot different than most people out there. If there were 4 games in a month's time, and there'll be more than that, more times than not, but if there were 4 games in a month's time that could make you money, and you could sign on right now, hear me out, Chris. If you could sign on right now, even 6 games, if you could sign on for 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 6, would you sign that document right now?
Sure.
Because do you know what kind of money you can make with those kind of particulars? I mean, just break it down.
Do the math.
Folks, I'm telling you right now, if your mindset isn't ready for change, then I promise you, and I'm going to be repetitious here, you're not ready to win. And success will never come your way. If you want to confine yourself to the point where you say that I played 12 games and I'm just a small player. Yeah, but here's the thing. You're a small player in your mind. You're always going to be a small player because you don't know the method of getting to the next level. And that's, you know what, Chris, I think that's the problem with most people in betting is that next level.
Well, they look at it as when they win, right? Now they have no idea what to do.
Right.
They're like a deer in headlights.
And they'll back off. We talked about that last week.
It's crazy.
Our mindset is when we're hot,
let's go.
Let's send it.
Let's go.
I mean, that doesn't mean we send it all in.
Correct.
But that's the time to make your move. The majority of people out there, they seem to press their bets when they're down.
Lose.
That's a fool. That's a foolhardy way.
That is a fool for sure. And it makes no sense. And, and again, the topic of today is these athletes that are just like, they're mental half-wits, because it's a whole other thing that you guys out there that are involved with handicapping and not just information. You have to deal with handicapping mental nitwits, right? Because you got a guy that just had a bad day. Back in the day, men were men, man. These athletes were men. They showed up. It didn't matter what Michael Jordan had going on during the day. He was showing up and dropping 35. Kobe Bryant. You got some baseball players out there. Don Mattingly was playing through whatever. Derek Jeter was playing through whatever. Just to name a few.
But you want to know something? I think you can see that in the after battle of every game. I mean, nothing for nothing. I mean, the days of Mickey Mantle and, the days of Bob Gibson, those guys would never shake hands or hug one another at the end of the game. Gibson would take your heart.
They were more likely to stab each other.
Listen, I'll never forget. I was listening to Tim McCarver one day, and Tim McCarver went out to the mound. And he said, Gibson looked him in the eye, and he said, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Reg sent me out here." Reg Shandings was the manager. He goes, "Tell Red to come out here. You get back behind the plate," because McCarver was the catcher. And McCarver said, whenever we had to take him out, I would always look over my shoulder and look at Red, and I kind of go like this. I waved to him.
You do it. No, you do it.
I don't want to go out there because that was the competitiveness. I think, listen, in the heat of battle, these guys all have that competitiveness, but that fire is gone from the belly, and I think that fire in the belly in a lot of aspects has really hurt the modern athlete.
And you know who I blame for this pussification? You know who I blame for it? LeBron James, the biggest flopping crybaby there has ever been. Because it didn't exist when Jordan and Kobe were around, but when the next superstar came up, because LeBron James is a superstar, when the next superstar came up whining and crying about every call and flopping when he gets hit by a guy that's 6 feet 2 inches, that's 100 pounds less than he is, and going 9 rows back, I really believe he's the guy who started all this mental nonsense. Got to be mentally, if you're not mental tough, you can just, I need a day off. What the hell is going on? Need a day off.
He ain't no Michael Jordan.
He's not Michael. He's not Kobe. Will never be. That's a podcast for a different day, I'm sure. I'm sure I'll get a lot of emails to Chris at takingvegas.com, about that one going on.
Yeah, nobody will be listening to us NBA season.
All right, so guys, let's talk about making some money this week. Richie, you got a big game lined up. If people give us a call at 888-WIN.
I'm hoping. We'll know on tomorrow's show. I'll definitely be 1,000. I'm sure we'll be locked in. But as of right now, I'm being honest, folks, and we say it all the time. I'm usually locked in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This one's taking a little bit longer to materialize, but we'll give you an answer for tomorrow for sure.
I'll be live on the Sean Salisbury Show Friday morning at, I think it's 9 o'clock Houston. I always get that confused. 9 o'clock Houston time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. I'll be live on San Diego Sports Radio on Thursday night, giving out free picks with everything that we do. You could visit takingvegas.com, get more
NFL
free picks
this
there.
Week, Chris.
I
Jesus,
know,
it's here
tomorrow.
already. It's here.
Tampa Bay and Dallas, man.
It's here.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. I like some matchups for Sunday. I know you do as well, but a lot of the listeners out there, they don't understand that when we say we like a matchup, that has nothing to do with handicapping 7-3 against the spread or 9-0 their last 9 home openers. All that's bullshit. All that doesn't mean a thing. What matters is where the money goes, the smart money.
Yes.
And if people don't have the ability to find out where that smart money goes, they end up playing the other way. They play the sucker money.
I think the line that we got to look for this year, if we can find it, it might not come out until the end of the year. Does Tom Brady qualify for an AARP card? he's just around.
Senior citizen discounts.
He's just around the corner.
Tom, well, yeah,
that son of a bitch is going to play forever.
Hey, why not, man?
He's going to play forever.
He set a goal. And he said, I'm going to beat Father Time. And he basically beat Father Time. I know, listen, eventually he's got to stop. But he beat Father Time. No one is doing or has ever done what this man is doing.
And what he eats and what he drinks. He's the only guy I know who's drinking tequila and grassroots. I mean.
So, guys, listen, it's Wednesday. just baseball on the board. But as we're doing this podcast, there's a couple games going on. But I'm going to get to a free pick. Now, look, the free picks last week, man. The free picks were damn good.
Ridiculous.
Really, really, really good. I'm going to give you another one. We're going to go with the under. And by the way, this game goes at 6:40 p.m. Eastern time. So in the time of doing this podcast, around 4 o'clock Eastern time. You don't have much time to get on this. But go with the under in the Mets-Miami game. Total should be 7.5. Should be a low-scoring game. Mets can't hit, and Miami has their ace on the mound. So, and then Rich Hill's been better over the last few starts that he's had after the slow start getting to New York. So go with the under. And then we'll be back on Thursday.
It's amazing. One other thing before we go. As good as the free picks are and have been, for the last few weeks, I mean, it's our money games that we kind of make our reputations on. So, folks, take the free games, dabble in them. Don't go out there and put big balloons on them. When we have a game that we want you to seize the moment with, I think it's time for you to really hit them hard, and you definitely that's the key before we end the show, Chris. You got to hit our games, unlike you hit your own games.
Well, listen, you shouldn't even be betting your own games because the betting your own games will got you in the damn problem to begin with that we have to bail you out of, and we do that year in and year out. But again, visit takingvegas.com. Follow us at Instagram or on Instagram at takingvegas.com or at takingvegas, DM us the word free. You'll get more free picks. Go to syndicatedplayersclub.com right now. Get involved with Richie Tulo's big play. He's not settled on it yet as of doing this podcast, but he should have a big one. He'll have more information on that tomorrow. And again, takingvegas.com, more free picks. Call 888-WIN-8020. Get involved with our program that makes you guys 10 times your initial bet. So if you bet $5,000 to start, you'll end up with $50,000. We'll show you how that gets done. And have a great Wednesday, everyone. We'll catch you back here on the Taking Vegas podcast on Thursday.